So how is President Obama doing as a leader on this issue? He has put himself in the forefront, a couple of press conferences in the last few days, joined now by Richard Fowler, director of the Phoenix Freedom Political Action Committee, and also Alan Nathan, who is a syndicated radio talk show host and host of Battle Line. Good to have you both here today. Richard, what do you make of that criticism from John Boehner? He basically says the president is talking tough, and he says he's serious, and he wants a serious effort brought by the other side, but Boehner says he is not.
Well, I think the president is talking tough, and I think Speaker Boehner is wrong.
Overtures to what he might be willing to consider. And when the Republicans don't definitively respond with a specific themselves, he accuses them of dodging, even though everybody knows that as we speak, only the president has gotten a piece of paper indicating what the other side wants. The other side, unfortunately, has not been able to enjoy that same reciprocated courtesy.
You know, I listened to Karl Rove after he watched the president's news conference today, and he came out swinging. He basically said, Richard, that that the president has failed to lead at every juncture, and he also was very riled up about the president. At this moment that we're going to play for you right now was when the president addressed the issue of how we got in this mess in the first place. Let's listen to this, and then I want to get your reaction.
It turns out that our problem is we cut taxes without paying for them over the last decade. We ended up instituting new programs like a prescription drug program for seniors that was not paid for. We fought 2 wars. We didn't pay for them. We had a bad recession that required a Recovery Act and stimulus spending and helping states, and all that accumulated, and there's interest on top of that.
All right, so reaching back, talking about prescription drug plans in the previous administration, and also corporate tax rates that he felt were too low. Richard, is that blame fairly placed in your opinion?
Well, I understand why Karl was upset. He was upset because under President Bush, they did raise a deficit. They passed this big tax cut that they did not pay for, and now they've put it on President Obama to pay for all these tax cuts, while members of the House want more tax cuts, and they want more taxes. They refuse to bring to the table anything that they're willing to negotiate with. You can't come to the negotiating table, Martha, without bringing something to the negotiating table. And I think the president has been very clear in saying he's willing to cut the oil subsidies, cut the loopholes to corporate jet owners, and in return he's asking them to raise the debt ceiling, and he's also willing to make a lot of discretionary cuts, including $100 million at the Pentagon, or even more than that.
Let's get Alan's response to that. Alan, the charges that Republicans are not willing to give even a little bit on increasing some revenues and getting rid of some of those tax loopholes, and that if they would just go there, then they'd be at a start of a negotiating spot.
Martha, there's not a single sane economist who will tell you that there's greater debt reduction potential through tax increases than there is through spending cuts. You know, I recall John F. Kennedy made it abundantly clear that it's a paradoxical truth that when you lower tax rates, you increase tax revenues because you allow that many more businesses to have that many more dollars to hire that many more people to help contribute to those escalating revenues. It worked during Kennedy. It was replicated during Reagan, who unfortunately couldn't put a stop to the disproportionate spending, so the counterbalance was blown away. But the revenues did indeed go up. Yes, it's true. If you cut taxes, initially there will be a reduction of incoming revenue. But when you give it just a little bit of time, the accelerated economy helps bring about all the extra dollars you could have.
Well, everybody's trying to place the blame on the other guy. We'll see where this goes and who benefits in the long run. Thank you very much, gentlemen. So far, looking like neither side is benefiting too much in terms of the public response. Thanks, you guys.